Hello guys, and welcome to another guide by me, Furby. This time we're going to be covering the Sith sorcerer lightning tree. We're going to be starting off with the talents, and I'll work our way up and talk about some of the key talents we need to look out for. So, of course, the first ones you're going to start out with are the ones at the bottom. Reducing force costs, increasing your total force, increasing damage by a set amount. Great, perfect. The first one of your core talents you're going to look out for is subversion. Reduces your pushback, which is great for when you're PvPing or taking damage from ads, etc. But the main one you want to look out for here is that it increases your force regeneration by 10% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. This is very important because you constantly cast throughout your rotation, and having force regeneration is a good thing. Exsanguinate increases the duration of your affliction by 10 seconds. Affliction is a big part of your rotation as well. We'll come into that a bit more later. I grabbed Lightning Spire, increases my maximum range by 5 meters. Maybe not as important if you want to put the point elsewhere. If you CC a lot, maybe put it in suppression. Chain Lightning, one of the first abilities you get in the talent tree, very important. Will be one of your main buttons that you press, but not something you're going to spam. Not the kind of thing that you press every time whenever it's available. But we'll get a bit more into that later. Lightning Barrage, another very important talent. Your affliction crits have a 100% chance to grant Lightning Barrage, causing your next Force Lightning to channel and tick twice as fast. So what you can deduce from that is your affliction needs to be up 100% of the time during your rotation, and whenever you see the buff proc, the lightning barrage buff, you want to hit force lightning. You'll see that later when I show you the rotation. Another very core talent is your force attacks that critically hit have a 100% chance to grant lightning effusion, reducing the force cost of your next 2 abilities by 50%. Yet again, reducing force costs with that force regeneration, you're constantly casting, there's no melee involved. Really good point, really good to put your points in. I skipped over Backlash. Your static barrier has a % chance to erupt and blind enemies for 3 seconds. More of a PvP thing, I thought. I don't PvP that much, but if you do, it's great. Overload has a 50% chance to blind the targets in electricity. Yeah, and again, I thought it was more of a PvP thing. It's up to you. Suppression lowers the cooldown of Whirlwind and increases the lockout duration. Yeah, again, more PvP. I didn't pick it up for this. But I did have to put a point in Lightning Barrier because simply going up this tree and going straight for the damaging ones, I didn't have enough points. So I had to put one in Lightning Barrier. Probably great anyway, especially if you want to solo a lot. Increasing your static barrier is always good. Let's climb up a bit further than I actually am. Oh no, wait, sorry. Lightning Storm. Your lightning strikes have a 30% chance, and your Force Storm has a 10% chance when dealing damage to cause Lightning Storm, which will immediately finish the cooldown of your Chain Lightning and reduce its activation time by 100%. Chain Lightning has a 3-second activation time, which makes it pretty much useless during a boss fight because it's mainly an AoE thing. It does a lot of damage, sure, but 3 seconds you could be throwing out more lightning strikes, more force lightning. There's a lot more other things you could be doing that are more effective. But whenever you get this lightning storm buff, it's there, it's instant, and it's a lot of damage. It's really good. So that's one of the buffs you want to be looking out for. You'll see it come above your head, as you can see here. But without add-ons and stuff recent at the moment, you will have to look out for it. It can be a bit of a pain, but hopefully BioWare will have some sort of add-on system put in the future. I don't want something like WoW because that will ruin raiding and stuff. So before you start raging about add-ons, I don't want to ruin the game. But there needs to be something, in my personal opinion. Further up the talent tree, we'll come into Conduction and Forked Lightning. Now, as you can see, these are kind of linked to each other, all coming up from Chain Lightning. That's because they react to one another. So your you've got your instant cast on chain lightning, and then you get forked lightning, which gives you I'd imagine at 3 points, it'll give you a 30% chance for the ability to produce a second arc of lightning that strikes the same target for, I'd imagine, 90 or 100% extra damage. Basically, you have a 30% chance to do double the damage, which, yet again, when you have that instant cast, it, you know, you can be hitting him twice effectively. So yeah, that's pretty sick. And then conduction, which comes off of forked lightning again. Your forked lightning conducts the force, increasing your bonus damage by 1% for 30 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. It sounds like it's going to proc a lot, because if you have the ability to have it at least once every 30 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. If you're doing a raid boss or a hard boss at your current level, 3% extra damage, it sounds tiny, but believe me, it adds up. It will help you a lot. The second ability we get from talents, your connection to the force shifts, granting 20% alacrity for 10 seconds. That's polarity shift. This to me sounds like a damaging cooldown, probably possible to use at the beginning of a fight. If it's a long fight with a 2-minute cooldown, you could probably use it at an end or an execution phase. Maybe worth saving, depends on the fight. That's up to your own discretion. It's up to you, really. These two are joined as well, but I don't really see a connection. Increasing the critical damage by your afflictions, chain lightning, and thundering blast by 10%. Personally, I don't really see a connection, but if they're connected, that's BioWare. Yeah, just sounds like a straight up damaging buff to your crits. Now, one thing you can see that everything has in common so far before we move on to Thundering Blast. Yeah, so affliction crits have a 10% chance. Force attacks that crit have a 100% chance. Everything kind of revolves around crit. A lot of these things are like, you need crit and then it will do this. You need crit and it will do this. So, and then at the top, they're increasing the amount of crit damage you actually do. So to me, it sounds like the lightning tree is going to be very revolved around critting, how much crit you're going to do, your surge rating, so your crits actually hit harder and make them more effective, especially with reverberating force talent. So crit sounds like the way you want to go with your abilities. And the last talent point, talent at the top, sending a thundering blast at a target that deals an incredible amount of damage. Thundering blast automatically critically hits targets affected by your affliction. So basically, this is on a 9-second cooldown. It's a 2-second activation, but as long as you have your affliction up, it's 100% critical hit chance. So technically, as long as you're good at keeping your affliction up, mine says 546 to 604 damage. Technically, it will be doing 1,100 to 1,200-ish, technically. So, that again is up to you being a good player. That's up to you keeping your afflictions up, using things when you should. But yeah, that sounds pretty awesome to me. Of course, then you can move on. You'll have extra points left over. Increasing your force crit is probably going to be one of your better choices. Presence and healing, you don't need that. Just spreading out, moving things into good places. That's where you want to go. Alright, let's move a bit onto the duration. As you can see, I'm in front of the first boss, DN314 Tunneler in Hammer Station. This is just so I can give you a demonstration of the rotation. The main buttons I have here are Lightning Strike, Chain Lightning, Force Lightning, and Affliction. They will generally be all you need. My only cooldown at the moment I have is Recklessness. It's a 1 minute 30-second cooldown. You can probably use this at the beginning of a fight and then again at the end. But yeah, that's kind of up to you again. It's kind of the same as going back to Polarity Shift. When you get it, you're probably going to use them in conjunction with each other. I mean, drop in 30 seconds of Recklessness to have faster casts and more crits. But then again, I don't know, because this works on charges as opposed to a timed amount. Maybe it will help, maybe it won't. But yeah, so let's move on to the rotation. First thing you're going to do is put Affliction on. then you're probably going to use force lightning, because force lightning is more damage over the amount of time than lightning strike. And you completely ignore chain lightning for now. So let's get going, shall we? Send Canvar in. Affliction up, chain lightning. Then you're going to want to watch your affliction. As you can see, it's here. And then you pretty much spam lightning strike until force lightning's up again. Now you can see two buffs here. Lightning storm, which means you can use chain lightning and it's going to be an instant cast. That's what you want to look out for. And I missed that one, but we'll see it next time. And you pretty much just spam and use chain lightning whenever you can. Yet again, we have another lightning storm, instant. And you keep your affliction up. Make sure to keep watching affliction, chain lightning when you can. Not getting too happy with the crits. Now we have another lightning barrage. So force lightning is gonna go off very quickly and do a lot of damage without wasting too much time. That's something you definitely want to watch out for. So this is the very basic rotation. It's a proc based system, which some of you that play WoW will be quite used to. You want those two buffs, you need to look out for them and memorize how they look. Keep your affliction up, chain lightning and lightning strike spam pretty much. Yet again, lightning barrage and lightning storm. That's pretty much it for the rotation. So yeah, just yet again another recap. You want to keep your affliction up all the time. Force lightning whenever you can, because it is more efficient than lightning strike even without the proc. Between force lightnings, spam lightning strike, and then whenever you have the lightning storm proc, you chain lightning. But if you do have both procs, which you saw I had quite often, do put force lightning above the chain lightning proc, because the chain lightning proc I believe lasts like 20 seconds and the force lightning 10. So if you want to get use of both of them, the force lightning one's probably the one to go for. So yeah, that's it really. As for my stats, I went and got some gear to accommodate for the crit. My critical chance at the moment is 22%. I believe that's pretty good. I'm not too sure. My bonus damage is at 205. I was a noob and didn't buff myself, so it's actually a bit higher than that. My crit multiplier, I managed to get a bit of surge. Surge seems to scale ridiculously. I don't know if this is because I'm lower level. I don't know how it works exactly, but I have 10 points in surge, and that's given me nearly 3.5%. So if you went and found lots of surge items, you could have some really beastie crits. My gear isn't even that great. I've got some greens. You know, I'm not the best geared player in the world. So for yous that really haul your gear out, that's you can probably do some crazy damage. If you do happen to come across an AoE fight, your best bet is to probably tab afflict, tab afflict, tab afflict. Get your affliction out again and again and again, so you keep getting those procs, because every time you crit, the more targets there are, the more you're going to get that proc. And as for lightning strike, or yeah, if you're in an AoE fight, you can probably get away with spamming chain lightning even without the proc. And yeah, you're probably pretty sorted from there. That's all there is to it really. Thanks for watching my guide, and I hope it helped. See, thanks guys.